The one thing... Oh no. I've noticed something. How many of you have been screaming at me for the last episode or two? We're missing the cases. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode on Good Company with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our lonely analysis station out here. Now for a start, I've actually just seen when we popped back in here that I do not have a single thing to do on my main character right here, and I do want to quickly look around because I think we have potentially some more things that we can analyze, and indeed we do. So let's go and grab these things and actually get back on the task of generating some excess R&D. Now, why the analysis is currently not possible, I'm not quite sure. Why? Is this not a simple case? It's a plastic case. Okay, that makes more sense. So we do this. We take all of these, we start analysis, and we generate some extra R&D for research purposes. Now, it's not like we're in a bad spot right there, and I think our research and development team is working away ever so nicely, honestly. Especially considering that, you know, we are... I don't know, we're getting ever closer to unlocking about everything that we'll ever need. Not saying that we will be getting very close to unlocking everything at the moment, because of course there's quite a few R&D points still in it, but I don't really see myself needing any of these things for about the next 20 episodes, so, you know, yeah, we're doing well. Anyway, so, in the last episode we worked a lot more on this automation topic out here. We got everything set up for all the mechanical parts automation, and well, we even got some backlog going now here. We've got our first logistics employee that puts all these metal parts, or well, the metal plates onto this conveyor right here, and everything's nicely backlogged and starting to work, and all these shelves are full of metal plates, which you can imagine what kind of monetary investment that also took. But that is now all set up, all working away, and all nicely supplying all these tables, which are currently not doing a thing because we don't have a single employee assigned to them. That is going to change potentially today, but what is definitely going to change today is this emptiness up here, because we will finally get some final assembly underway, and well, then we'll kind of see where to go from there. So the all-important question, I would say, being here, how long do we take to assemble these things, and can we supply only one, maybe two, or maybe even three assembly stations with all the stuff that we're doing out here? And well, maybe we will find out that we can mostly supply three, but not everywhere, and we need to fix some frequencies. We'll see. We'll see about that all and more. Market overview itself is saying that we've currently got a weekly demand of 22 units, so we got to keep that in the back of our heads too. But let's look at the blueprint designer, and let's see. We can make one every 0.8 days, which is honestly not too bad. I mean, the thing is, assembling this, quite frankly, is not all too complex, you know. There's so little parts to the equation, you know. We've got all these advanced parts that it's going very quickly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because, you know, if we can supply less assembly stations, that technically means we also only need less assembly stations. Does less assembly work as well? Still, you know, being technically able to supply the same frequency of goods. Now, 0.8 days for one of these, which, looking at this, I think we should be doing these in 0.6. We do. We should be doing about everything here in 0.6 days. I'm actually not sure about these. We need a whole day for these. And we need a whole day for these. Okay, so, the mechanical side of things then, well, this is actually, I've apparently set this part here up to be able to supply the needed frequency. Here we are slightly lacking to actually fully supply 2 tables. Now the question sort of kind of being, would we have enough to add a third table to the equation, or a set of tables to the equation out here? I'm not quite sure about that. I think we're going to start by actually setting things up here, trying to get things going, and then we'll look back down here and see if we do have a bit of a supply overhang that allows us to get more tables going. Because other than that, you know, this is all going nicely, that's all going nicely, so these two kind of products or intermediate products are already at the necessary frequencies to be able to fully supply 2 tables. This thing down out here we will see after the fact, and this here we shouldn't have any issues at all, to be honest. We're making 5 I think every day. Yeah, so that should honestly be enough for even 3 tables, so like no concern down there, the least amount of concern you could ever have basically. Out here, I mean, these things will eventually have to calculate. I mean, we've got an offset of 0.2 days, so technically we could supply another half table with the outputs of, well, up here and down there. Actually, down there is kind of also a different story, because, yeah, I mean, this would also honestly be a bit more than half a table, so if we would get this up to snuff, we could probably run, like, 2.5 tables effectively, which in my mind still is more profit than only having 2, despite the extra employee. We will use the frequencies or the materials generated by all this stuff behind it, so I'm very certain that the excess profitability will very much make up for the well, the money that we have to pay that extra employee. But for the time being, we'll start with 2, and then we'll kind of just get things going and move things on from there, because we've got more potential in this, I think, but let's see how far we can take this. So, big shelving rack then, which we are going to put, actually probably potentially out here, because I'm thinking, well, first things first, let's put it the right way around, because but what I'm thinking, if we turn this snapping of the camera off, is that if we are going to expand the assembly, we're going to put the assembly table right here. And, you know, that's going to make access nice and easy, even with its big shelving rack for that additional employee, and that should be fine, you know. 1 extra space for these 2 employees to traverse, because of course this would make it a bit faster in their case. So maybe for a start we can put it like that, and then we'll shuffle it around once we add the 3rd table to the equation, just to, you know, not slow our employees down unnecessarily. So, with that said then, we will go and select whatever we wanted to select, which is not available out here because I don't think I've finalized my blueprint yet, and I do not have a name for this thing yet either. And I've totally not researched, well, no, I actually did research, I do remember it. It's been a while since I asked about name ideas, and I don't think anybody really had any. And I actually researched, because it was my idea, was calling it the name of the sandworm in the Star Citizen trailer, but it doesn't have one. So, yeah. We will be very creative out here and think of something very quickly, and the name is going to be our pipeworm. I don't know. We'll call it pipeworm Mark 1, and that's the way that we're going to start out with this stuff for now. Yeah, if you have any better names, please feel free to let me know down below. I'm very much not creative with this, so yeah, feel free to let me know. But that's going to be the name of our first design for the time being. If we do another design and somebody puts a good idea somewhere down below in the comments, I'll do my best to remember it so we can hopefully move on like that. But for today, this is the way that we're doing it. So, with that finalized, then let's actually go and select that to be made at these tables. Why do you not have it? There you go. And then we will also actually need to extend this stuff to out here, which is currently not a possibility because we do indeed not have enough conveyor parts, which we can, albeit very quickly, change out here. Question honestly being how much we need to keep this going. I think we will probably just let the plastic run dry in these machines, which has apparently already happened, and that way, you know, we don't have to push more and more materials into this, and we can keep our profitability a tad bit higher, because why in the world not? I mean, I've got a bit of bit of, you know, excess conveyor parts for the time being. It's like 89 total. I'm going to use like 10 here. And so if we actually get back to things, we'll have a bit to work with. And if we happen to need more conveyor parts, we can always use things then. And I honestly don't think we need too many in the near future. You know, we are going to pull this thing out. We're going to pull something across here, but that's about it. So, yeah, I think that's fine. But anyways, let's pull this thing out to here for the time being. Now, we could, of course, have a roller band out here, but honestly, ever since we have finally gotten the storage segments, I'm really, really not a huge fan of the roller bands at all. I mean, it's fancy and all, but the thing is, you don't really get much of any storage. It doesn't really stack up properly. You get a lot of backlog issues. Well, we can just pick the storage segment, have an access point on the other side regardless, and then just have a small shelving rack out here that my logistics employees can access to pick up all the things they ever wanted to. So, honestly, quite content with that option right there. Now, moving on from that though, let me go and we will assign a few things here for the time being, I think. So, we're going to go logistics mode. This is very nicely in manual mode, so glad to hear that. And we're going to connect these things here up for the time being. And what we will also do is maybe move things about, because I'm actually considering to have these things right next to the delivery pallets. So, I think what could be the better option out here will be to just have it next to the pallet and have the employees deliver whatever they make, or move whatever they make right onto the pallet instead of moving it back to the big shelving rack. Now, the issue with that idea being this. So, I mean, we could leave space like this or like that, both not being ideal, because it means that we would be adding movement time to our logistics employees' actions. Now, this here would only add movement time to one of their actions. The question also sort of being, what happens when I get a third one going? So, probably something we'll have to redo even more than we had to redo the first setup, but it is going to make things a bit easier and quicker, so we're going to keep it like that for the time being, because for the two table setup that we currently have going, it is the ideal setup. Now, in terms of this, we've actually not set up anything out here for this stuff, so we will have to do so, actually. Let's get the materials into the shelf that we need, and then we can go and quickly get this set up, this moved over. We do have enough space to increase the bandwidth on all of these to twice the amount, which is absolutely beautiful and perfect. And then we've got these things in here, which we do need to add plastic parts to that. Now, one concern that I actually currently suddenly have is that I've got a plastic part production down here, which I'm not sure how much I use up of. Maybe I will need more, or does this cover however much I need? We've got 0.4 days for 10 plastic parts. Now we're using out here nothing. Now we're using out here for... Okay, yeah, no, we're very well covered right there, I would say. What we can regardless do, though, I think, is actually hire a person for this to actually create some backlog along here. And we probably want to create some backlog along there, too, so we can kind of prepare for production processes, because while we've done that down here, we've actually forgotten about it out here. So I think we will have to take care of that. That also means that I will go and actually hire one first logistics employee, and I'll get time going a bit. Where's my logistics employee at? Did I hire him in the correct zone? Hello? Laddie? I'm not currently sure if my logistics employee can actually access the building depending on where he spawned. He may not be able to. Where did he spawn at? I actually just noticed, you know, a bit of an issue here, because we didn't have any overhead conveyors here, here, or here. So we've kind of slightly blocked off the building. It seems that she spawned down here, though, so it should actually be fine, because you can go through here and through. Okay, so technically we've not quite blocked off the building. This is all very suboptimal, regardless. Kind of considering to quickly fix this issue, to be honest, because I don't like it. We will do so, and then we will get back to proper operation after that, because why in the world should we keep this as is? You know, you gotta satisfy that OCD a bit someday. So let's go, and yes, that is parallel. Put that there. We will go and connect this conveyor belt out to here, and we will do the same thing for all these other ones. That one here being a tad bit of an issue because there's technically material on it, but I suppose we can work with it. We're going to go and extend that out to here. We're going to go and get an overhead conveyor in right there. And we're going to go and pull that all the way around again so we can, you know, get things flowing right here. And then the same deal right here. So, yeah, bit of an excess work, but as long as hopefully we have not broken a thing, which fingers crossed that that's going to be the case, we should hopefully be fine. So that ends there. We'll go and nicely match the other ones that we have going. Then we'll go and pull out a conveyor around here, around there, around there, into there. Done. Sweet. One more. Nah. Who would have thought, right? Let's get rid of this part and that part. And then this is still on a belt, luckily. Then we will go and pull out the conveyor, which will sit right there. And we will go and finalize that there, and we'll go and finalize that there, and now nothing is blocked off anymore. Good news indeed. So that is gonna be that. We're gonna get time playing again. Now we're gonna continue on this setup up here, which actually pauses time, unless we get it going again. Cool. So this chemistry table out here requiring then on the one hand plastic parts, which we will move in from down there of course, and then on the other hand side the metal parts. So all that nicely supplied. Another thing here honestly being, I'm gonna go and increase the bandwidth of this for a start, because why not? We have a free spot in there. Also, I want to quickly access the inventory right here, because I do have a bunch of plastic parts down here that I do not need at all. So we're going to stack that into there. And can we actually stack that more? No. Okay. And then this is already going to start flowing, because why in the world not? Also, apparently every time you put something into that shelf, it moves that employee, despite that not being the thing that he needs, which is interesting. But, yeah. So, wait. Just in case you didn't see what I mean. Look at that. Look at him. Do you see what he's doing? But okay, so what we will then do is of course connect these things in and those things out, and then we've got our double battery stacks, which we're going to subsequently move into there. Now, how much of an overhead we need of what, that is honestly the question of the year. We've only got 2 free slots, so we can't double everything. We only need 1 battery stack, we need 3 metal, and we need 5 plastic parts. Now, stack sizes being the thing that we need to relate that to. So we definitely are going to double the metal, because in relation to the stack size, we need a bit more compared to the others. Then the question honestly starts being, do we want more in space or do we want more out space? I've got no clue. I don't really think it makes a difference. Like, we could just select a random one out of these 3 and it does not make a difference in the world. I don't think so. Unless we need 2 of these, which would make more sense for a double battery stack, but apparently we don't. So we're literally just going to do things like that, and I don't know, we're just going to double the output. I don't really think it makes much of any difference. If there is going to be a shortage of battery stacks, it's probably going to be a shortage of plastic parts too, and vice versa, because, well, the amount needed related to the stack size is actually not equal at all, is it? No, it is equal. It is equal. I was thinking of a different amount needed, so equal. So, yeah, that is that for a start. Then this guy here can hopefully, well, get going in a bit. This retrieval segment already working away nicely is very awesome and beautiful. I don't know why I actually set this to 20, to be honest, because I could just set this to max stack size, given that I have to stack it into a big shelving rack anyways. I think that may have been before I implemented the big shelving rack solution to this stuff, so we're just going to max this out with, like, anything else really doesn't make any sense. And then we've got this stuff going right here. Now, over here, we've got this stuff, all these logistics connections, which just means that the employee up there will have to do a thing and actually get things going there. And we can also probably quickly manage the inventory of this big shelving rack. To be fair, all these already have 3, like, triple the normal, like 3 stacks basically. We're gonna make it 4 just to make sure, but honestly we don't need more backlog. It's just gonna tie up more capital for us, so I think we're gonna be fine in that regard, and I'm gonna be hopefully happy with that. Now we also do not need to do things like this, do we? We can just move full stacks. Because once this fills up, that's fine anyways, and the place where it is important, how much we actually pull, is here. This is the place where it's important. Before then, it is not important at all, and if we just max the stack sizes out, the only thing that means is that's going to transport things quicker for me. We do not have anything in queue here at the moment, which is actually a bit of an issue, because we do need to get something in queue there. So, what we do need to get in queue is going to be electronic parts, and I've got that in there. I've just not put it in the queue ever, which is weird to say the least, but we'll go and get that going. I don't know what category I currently have deselected, or what is wrong with my... Oh no, there it is. I was just blind. My apologies. So that is set up. This here is also set up, and it is set up correctly indeed. And then that's going to flow around here into the big shelving rack. That's flowing into the big shelving rack. That is pulling the frequencies that we need right here, 54020. And then that's going to work away and put things into there. Beautiful. Absolutely marvelous. So, bit more fiddling needed right there than I initially thought it was going to be. But we do now have the battery stacks in here. The one thing... Oh no. I've noticed something. How many of you have been screaming at me for the last episode or 2? We're missing the cases. We are absolutely and utterly and officially and detrimentally and sadly missing the cases. You know, cases for a robot, just a very, you know, unimportant, unnecessary side part of things. Of course not at all, but yeah, so we will have to actually set that up. I mean, that's a very detrimental one to our cause, I would say. And we're gonna for the time focus though on this stuff. I really hope that we still have the overhead frequencies that we need and want for this that we need and want for the cases, and that we do not need more machines for that, because finding that out now, after all this stuff stands and we've backlogged absolutely everything, yeah, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep if that happens. So hopefully somewhat with a bit of a margin, we're going to be fine. Fingers crossed. Please pray for me. We're going to, though, put a small shelving rack right there. We're going to slightly shorten this thing by 1 slot. We are going to go into conveyor belts. We are going to go place down an automatic storage segment, and then we have our parts over, and then we are going to end this episode off here for today. So yeah, not quite as far as I thought we were going to be. We're going to have to set up the cases in the next episode, and well, then just move things over, really. Hopefully everything's going to be fine in regards to machines, and then we should hopefully be able to get things going slowly but surely in the next episode as to hiring employees and getting assembly underway, and then we'll see about if we can actually set up a third assembly table too. But for today, this has been it. As usual, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, as usual, make sure to hit that like button down below. It does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.